everyone. Thank you so much for joining me in another executive interview. Today we are joined by Luca Bottallo, the director at Flanders Investment and Trade in Australia, an organization that plays a pivotal role in connecting Australian businesses with opportunities in one of Europe's most dynamic economic regions. Luca, thanks for joining me in our conversation today.
Thank you for having me. So I'm very glad to be again actually involved in the emergence.
Amazing. Now, Luca, let's dive right in. So, could you elaborate on how Flanders has positioned itself as a technology hub in Europe, particularly in key sectors like ICT, manufacturing 4.0, and life sciences?
Yeah, first of all, let me put Flanders on the map. So Flanders is the northern region of Belgium. So it's centrally located in continental Europe and hosts European Union headquarters and policymakers. Flanders benefits from excellent logistics infrastructure, like the port of Antwerp, that is the second largest port in Europe. And the connectivity boosted by easy access to market across Europe and globally is a crucial factor for high-tech industries that normally rely on both rapid communication and efficient distribution. So let's say that if Flanders' experience in moving goods and creating commercial opportunities for services is indisputable, what makes Flanders stand out is the commitment to industry driven by innovation and technology. Specifically, the region has a robust R&D ecosystem supported by leading universities and research institutes. For example, the Catholic University of Leuven and the Ghent University are at the forefront of innovation in fields such as life sciences, AI, and engineering. These universities collaborate with industry partners, driving a forward cutting-edge research that is then commercialized into innovative products and services. So Flanders, during the last decades, has identified strategic sectors where it aims to lead in innovation. For digital technology, a valid example could be the Flanders AI Research Program. It was launched in 2019 and it focuses on AI-related innovation in fields like health, mobility, manufacturing, and agriculture. Moreover, the active presence of leading companies in big data, cybersecurity, blockchain, and smart manufacturing technologies has enabled the transformation of the manufacturing sectors in Flanders. So basically, the region has embraced Industry 4.0, which involves, as you know, digitalization of factories and the integration of smart systems to enhance productivity and reduce cost. AI-powered robots, predictive maintenance system, and automation are commonly applied in Flemish industries like automotive, chemicals, and food processing. So strong commitment, strong expertise, and a very active and dynamic ecosystem.
Amazing. It's truly fascinating to hear about the work that you're doing. Now, Luca, the numbers really tell a story here. So in 2022, Flanders attracted 265 foreign investment projects, totaling around 4.92 billion euros. Now, what do you believe makes the region so compelling for international investors, especially in technology and innovation-driven sectors?
The numbers from 2022 were very good. Last week, last Friday, the government released also the 2024 data that are even more interesting because despite the challenging international economic context in 2024, Flanders was able to attract 277 new investments, amounting to an investment of a total of 5.4 billion of euro and in excess of 5,000 new jobs. Investment in R&D continue to grow and now form the largest category. Foreign companies are increasingly investing in Flanders for several reasons. As mentioned before, strategic location and well-developed infrastructure are very important. The business-friendly environment, the presence of established ecosystem and supply chains, very important as well. Government focus on research and development. And generally speaking, a proven experience in working with and for foreign-owned companies. just to give you an example, 1 in 3 people working in Flanders works for an international company. So multilingual, skilled workforce, quite used to deal with international companies, and Australians are very welcome.
Amazing. That's indeed quite impressive. Now, Luca, for companies that are looking to take advantage of these opportunities, I imagine that there are complexities that they have to navigate. So, can you tell us how does Flanders Investment and Trade helps companies navigate the challenges of entering the European market, particularly leveraging the region's strategic location and access to major European economies?
Thank you for the question. So let's say that there are various government agencies, such as Flanders Investment Trade, that are providing tailored support to foreign investors. My office is one of the 78 offices in 69 countries around the world. And we do listen to Australian companies interested in expanding to Europe. We advise them on market entry, operational setup, financial incentive, of course. And we coordinate site visits in Flanders, schedule meetings with service providers such as legal and accounting firms, suppliers, and also key industry players. All these reduce basically the barriers for Australian companies entering the region. Since the Belgium Economic Mission to Australia in 2023, we hosted 300 plus delegates, amongst them 160 plus companies. They said that more Australian businesses, from large companies to startups, have now been considering Flanders as the ideal launch pad to expand into Europe. So Flanders Investment Trade and other government agencies basically are always very much available to support foreign companies, Australian companies in considering and do some homeworks before investing into a foreign market.
I understand. Now, Luca, for Australian companies that are considering expansion into Europe, what would you say are the top three compelling reasons for them to choose Flanders as their entry point?
That should take probably a couple of hours to reply to your question. But let's say I'm trying in a nutshell. Let's say that so far Australian companies that are invested in Flanders operate in very diverse industries. So we go from chemical to gaming, from distribution to food processing, from recycling to agricultural machine manufacturing. So a bit of everything. One point in common is the interest of necessity sometimes to tap into an established industry cluster. Why? Because it's possible to benefit from an increased collaboration and knowledge sharing. It's possible to benefit from shared infrastructure and resources, access to innovation and R&D opportunities, supply chain optimization, skilled workforce, as I mentioned before, and then, of course, government and policy support. Moreover, I would like to point out that Flanders has a vibrant startup culture with a growing number of high-tech startups emerging in recent years. The region offers numerous resources for entrepreneurs, including accelerators programs, incubators, and funding programs, even just dedicated to startups and scale-ups.
Now, Luca, to wrap up our conversation today, I have one final question to ask you. So, can you walk us through the government incentives and support programs that make Flanders an attractive destination for Australian companies that are seeking to establish a European footprint?
Yeah, okay. First of all, it's important to mention that we are interested in providing a service to Australian companies because we know that they could really benefit from establishing it in Flanders. Flanders are not to be seen just as an opportunity to receive some grants or incentives. So say that, let's say that in Belgium, corporate income tax is around 25%, but there are several fiscal corrections to lower the tax base. So specifically for tech-driven companies, I would like to mention a few of them. So, for example, the innovation income deduction. So it's possible, for example, to deduct up to 85% of the net qualifying IP income from patents and copyright software. In a non-accounting dictionary, it means that, so let's say that if you are a company and you are making profit from the usage of your IP, you can deduct up to 85% of the profit. So this is a quite interesting deduction. Then we have investment deduction, so companies that can claim a deduction from the taxable profit for new tangible or intangible fixed assets used for business purpose. Then you have a tax credit for research and development, specifically. So companies investing in qualifying fixed asset for patents or R&D can opt for a tax credit instead of an investment deduction. So the R&D tax credit can be carried forward for 3 subsequent assessment years. So let's say that this year in 2025, I have a tax credit because I'm investing into R&D equipment. Then I can carry on this credit for 3 years in order to lower my corporate taxation. Another element interesting is wage withholding tax exemption for research projects or programs. So companies employing researchers for qualifying projects or programs pay only 20% of their wages withholding taxes. So basically, a company can save up to 80% cash with regard to the wage withholding. So quite interesting. Then there is also the tax deduction for innovation income. So this is to stimulate innovation. The Belgian companies can benefit from a tax deduction on intellectual property income related to R&D activities. So, and also in this case, benefiting from this deduction, the effective tax rate on innovation income could go down to 3.75%. So it's quite interesting as well. Then, of course, there are expatriate tax incentive and special tax regime for researchers. So several elements to provide incentives, fiscal incentives to companies that decide to establish in Flanders.
Amazing, wonderful. Thanks for sharing up that, Luca. Now, for our viewers watching this interview, if you would like to learn more about expanding your business in Europe through Flanders, please check out the contact information available on the side of the screen or in the description of this video. And once again, thank you, Luca, for joining me in our conversation today and for sharing these valuable insights about the opportunities that Flanders is offering.
Can I add just one last point before say thank you and goodbye? It's important to notice that Belgium is a federation, so similar to Australia. So basically, the region of Flanders is comparable to an Australian state. The difference is that the Belgium region, so Flanders specifically, has more power and autonomy in making trade and investment decisions. So less red tape and more business driven approach. So anyway, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Luca.